Hello there, my friends. So GGG has been stringing us along. Now, this was actually going to be a video of a lot of protest, but I will try to tone it down to be not annoying. And also, I haven't read the full post. It appears right. I was going to have a go at them. I still will a little, but I will tone it down. So first of all, guys, the patch that they have hinted that would be coming, which is 021, is almost 2 weeks late. Yeah, they said, or is it like about a week late? I think it's about a week late. Yeah, could be a week late, not 2 weeks. So 2 weeks ago, they said that 021 would be coming, and then they said they would be releasing some chase uniques at the very least, and then they couldn't do that, right? And now we have some chase uniques, and they said that the patch is supposedly coming tomorrow. I guess I'm okay with tomorrow, but I find the idea of doing specific videos for single uniques, I think that's a little pretentious, right? I mean, I think that's a little bit excessive. I find it very weird. I mean, you provided, so guys, if they were able to keep up with their deadlines, they can do whatever the hell they want, right? But when I'm playing Path of Exile, I have waited for a patch more than I enjoyed the patch, right? I mean, it's so weird. We get a patch, and we play the patch for a few days maybe, and then we are immediately hinted at the next patch, which never gets released on the deadline. Yeah, and now I find out that they have been doing specific videos for single uniques. I mean, guys, this game has hundreds upon hundreds of uniques. I mean, are they going to make videos for every single unique? That is very weird and useless. I mean, the comic one is, yeah, sure, I like it, but guys, I'm okay with, for example, a huge patch, reveal teaser, whatever it is, right? That's fine. But single uniques, as I said, guys, we have hundreds upon hundreds uniques in the game. I don't know the exact number, like 400, 500, I think. And why are you guys doing videos for single uniques, right? Just release the patch when you are supposed to, instead of doing videos for the uniques, right? I mean, yeah, I mean, I did rant, right? Anyway, let's get into the ridiculousness of drop rates that we have been, enduring. And sometimes they give out numbers, and those numbers enrage me more than I like the info, but I'm a little bit enraged, right? So yeah, let's get into it, and you will see. So for example, guys, I was very unhappy with the information that the explosive pods in the rituals were killing 50% of the players. What? And why would you keep it for 2 whole months like that? I mean, 4th of April was the patch 0.2 release, and that's when they buffed those, right? They weren't a nightmare like that in Season 0. And now they are killing everyone, and they are like, okay, that's normal, right? A mechanic that's not occurring always, killing half of our players, is something that's okay. Anyway, okay, protests over. Well, not exactly over, but I will step aside. Okay, in recent patches, we have had the goal to make the experience okay. We are significantly changing the way uniques drop, and we are adding some new chase uniques as well. Okay. And guys, in Path of Exile, the itemization is so complicated. So, I protest a lot, but I have been playing this game a lot, right? I actually like the game, obviously. And for example, I still don't have the judgmental skills or item evaluation skills of taking a look at the item. I'm like, wow, that's game breaking, right? I just can't tell, right? I mean, they display something as a chase unique. I'm like, I mean, it doesn't look bad, but I would never feel that like it would be 50 divine or something. And of course, 50 divine also comes from being extremely rare as well. We'll get to that. When we design uniques, we classify them into a few different rarities depending on how powerful we think they are. Okay. These are common, uncommon, rare, and mythic. So guys, this is the secret rarity of uniques, right? So that is tiered like that by GGG, but we don't know them, right? I mean, we can know from the pricing most of the time, but there are some rares that overperform, and there are some mythics that underperform, I suppose, right? But that's generally it. Mythic uniques are things like Headhunter, Mjolnir, or Astramantis. This is funny, but I don't know of an item that's called Mjolnir. I didn't know Mjolnir existed in Path of Exile 2. Okay, that's funny. I'm gonna look it up after. Mythic uniques are intended to be chased, but they were way too rare. No kidding, I have not found one. The most valuable item I have ever found and sold, right, because that will make a difference, I found a very nice jewel which I sold for 40 divine. That's the most valuable item I found. That was in season 0. This season, I'm guessing I have a few 10 divine items, nothing valuable, right? Yeah, I'm trying to cast my mind back, and guys, I do have an embarrassing amount of playtime. Yeah, quite high, about 1,000 hours, and I have 0, as I said, of those, and I would have like 30 divines, maybe 35, 40 divines. You know, my lifetime divines found in Path of Exile 2. You know, just to give you a perspective on it. The first problem is that we balance the relative number of rare mythic uniques. The same it was in Path of Exile 1, but in Path of Exile 1 you get way more uniques. Yes, because you guys are screwing us here, right? That's why your life's purpose. The second problem is in that Path of Exile 2, when you roll for uniques, the game first rolls what item class the unique will come from. And because there are a lot of amulets and rings in the game, that means mythic amulets and rings are just very rare. Take a look at this, guys. A mythic amulet like Astramantis was about 47,000 times rarer than a divine orb. That's why we have to chance it, because it's unfindable, guys. So imagine that means for every 47 divine orbs found, someone is getting an Astramantis. And I am telling you, with about 1,000 hours, I have some tens of divines found lifetime, right? So which means there need to be, thousands of me with thousands of playtime, thousands of hours of playtime to get enough divines so, one of us is gonna get an Astramantis, right? Imagine. So guys, that means about 1 million hours of playtime to get an Astramantis. So we, as players of Path of Exile 2, play the game, right, at the end game for about 1 million hours, and someone gets an Astramantis. I mean, that's just insulting, right? That's just very, very rude. At some point, I'm sometimes thinking like, maybe I would be happier without this information, because this is just pure plain very rude. Because I was wondering, guys, I also have rarity, etc., right, on most of my characters, and I'm like, wow, I do have a rather, high playtime. I have nothing that's valuable, right? The most valuable thing I found was a jewel, and I found an extremely good chest just as season 0 was about to end, and I think it's worth, a few hundred divines. It was, almost mirror level, but it never sold because it was the end of season 0, so it's still staying there. So that's why I'm mentioning the 4th divine thingy. Yeah, 47,000 times rarer a divine. Wow. So guys, I'm just using my data, and I'm telling you, an Astramantis dropping normally is taking about 1 million hours. And I wish they also, disclosed, what the new situation will be. Anyway, and they are at least owning up, right? That's something I like. They are at fault and they are admitting that they were at fault. When things are that rare, they effectively don't exist for most players. Well, they kind of effectively don't exist. I mean, yeah, I mean, guys, I have found 0 chase uniques. And I have played a lot, right? I mean, you do see my videos. There is a lot of playtime involved, yeah. And so, for example, I have a lot of friends / viewers are playing the game, and the one I know is a friend of mine got, I believe the shield was called Pillar of Chernobyl, right? About 70 divine. That's a chase unique, right? And that's the only one I know, right? Among all of my friends, the most valuable item. Oh, sorry. I'm going to correct myself. I did get the Lost Flame. Yeah. I'm guessing that's a chase unique. And the thing that makes the Zarok drop temporarily, right? Yeah. I mean, I was doing a lot of Trial of Sekima's runs, and I did get that sold for 500 divine. Yes, I will correct myself. Yeah. How did I forget? Anyway, so the first change we made to bring this in line was to remove the item class from the equation. So guys, what this means is you get a unique, right? And then, so that's decided, right? You are getting a unique. Then you are getting the unique specific role to determine if you are getting a common, uncommon, rare, or mythic, and you have been lucky and you are going to get a mythic unique, right? And there are, let's say, 25 mythic uniques in the game, and it's going to roll 1 to 25, right? And number 13 is, let's say, Astramatis, and you will get Astramatis. So there will be no diluting the pool thanks to the item type, right? If it's decided, if the game decides that you are going to get a mythic item, all mythic items will have equal chance of dropping, right? So as I said, if there are 25 mythic uniques in the game, there is a 4% chance that you get any of them after you are getting the mythic unique, right? So the mythic unique will still be extremely rare. As I said, I haven't found them in thousands of hours, but when you get them, they will at least be balanced. The second change was to make it so common uniques get less common as more rarity is added to maps. Oh, okay. Ooh, rarity is going to be big, meaning that there is more chance for more uncommon, rare, and mythic uniques. And the last change was to just massively buff the number of mythic uniques that drop. Okay, guys, so rarity was always important, of course, but it's going to be more important now. So what this means is, if it was not clear, let me go over it for you. So guys, you are running a 200 rarity map, right? That would mean, obviously, you are going to get more uniques, right? But also, the inside, the unique only, interior unique row, right, will also get improved by your rarity, right? So for example, let's say you are running a tier 15 map with 200 rarity, and I am running a tier 15 map with 0 rarity, right? So let's say I'm getting 95%, 90% common uniques. So guys, that means I'm getting a unique, and 90% of the time it will be a common unique, right? 9% of the time it will be an uncommon, 0.9% rare, and 0.1% a mythic, right? And with 200 rarity, I am making these numbers up, right? Let's say the common goes down to like 70%, the uncommon goes up to 25%, rare is 4%, and mythic is 1%, right? As I said, I'm making these numbers up, but what is important is that rarity brings you scaling, right? It gives you more uniques, and it also gives you better uniques. So we are double dipping, right? So rarity's function is to give us more rare loot, which means it increases the chance of finding a unique, right? But now it also affects the interior unique row. I couldn't find a nice term for that, right? The unique rarity row. Common unique, uncommon unique, rare unique, and mythic unique, right? Rarity will also affect that, so it's double dipping. So yeah, rarity is pretty important. These changes together should significantly improve the feeling or that a good unique could be around any corner. Okay, I mean guys, when they word stuff like that, they are generally, correct, at least, right? So I'm guessing in the following days we will be getting some more chase uniques, and of course that. So guys, you could not yourself get maybe chase uniques because they will still be very rare. I'm guessing the name chase uniques gives that idea. But what's more important is, guys, the prices will be normalized, right? The garbage prices that are now, 70 divine for Pillar of Chernobog, 65 divine for Fall of the Axe. That's the unique slow charm that gives onslaught if you don't remember. And that is pretty frustrating, right? Those prices coming a little more in line with the others is gonna be pretty nice. Astra Mantis price gonna be lower. That's also pretty nice. I would like that. Okay, we have also improved the power of a few uniques that were classified as a mythic, but were not really holding up to a mythic standard. Yeah, guys, imagine getting a mythic unique, but it's actually not valuable. That would be, very, very frustrating. You will have to wait for the patch to find out what those are. And we do have a few videos, right? So we have the bow. Let's just watch this.
Cowl the usurper assembles his marauders at the foot of my watchtower.
Okay, so this is the Empire General
Slay us in our sleep.
Marcius Leni.
From the parapet, I ignite our beacons. I then dispatch Cowl's generals with ease, two at a time. My bowstring singing against the tidal breeze.
The guy has something in his eye that is calm.
Others release fiery arrows upon them. The flesh from their backs roast and fill the air, a sickening odor. It is the smell of victory. The dogs all begin to turn tail and flee, and so I give the order. Old arrows, men! Let's drive these savages into the sea! As we descend onto the beach, the Karui make their stand. With bow in hand, I make deft work of avoiding their blows, and then return fire. In the distance, I see
This is
the
Cal.
stain in Cowl's eyes.
Cal.
I know he sees my glare.
Yeah, that's about it.
Bow will be added at 021 alongside.
Oops. So yeah, guys, nice amount of damage, has accuracy, attack speed, dexterity, plus 2 meters to dodge roll distance. If you haven't dodge rolled recently, so they catch onto you and you roll away, that's pretty good. And if you have rolled recently, it penalizes you, so you should be getting cornered every once and then, and not very frequently. Barrageable attacks with this bow repeat one time if no enemies are in your presence.
Many other unique items. When wielded, you gain some of the power of the masterful archer, General Marcius Leni himself. As long as you're not too close to your enemies,
Yeah, as you can see,
all barrage
it
war attacks
repeats.
with this foe will be repeated.
Barrageable is a new tag, I'm guessing.
The bow also increases how far you can dodge roll. However, as Leni eventually learned the hard way, you must be careful not to commit
By
to
the way, Leni gets killed on the beach by
rolls will be shorter.
Kaum, I guess.
This is a powerful weapon, and with enough savvy, you may just live longer than the Eternal General himself.
Okay, so for example, guys, I mean, it looks good to me, but this doesn't give the impression of a 50 divine bow for me, right? I mean, it's good, right? That's it. So we also have a crossbow.
Hi, I'm Mark Roberts, Game Director on Path of Exile 2. Today, we've got a unique item showcase for The Last Lament, a brand new crossbow being added in 021. This crossbow originates from the height of the Eternal Empire, during the reign of Emperor Chitus. Kalisa
So
Mars,
ornate.
known for her amazing singing abilities, due to the virtue gem embedded in her throat, was slain by her very own composer, Adamantium.
Virtue gem
During this murder,
in her
Kalisa
throat?
unleashed such
The
powerful
what now?
screams that their sheer force killed both of them, eternally trapping their souls in the crossbow. The Last Lament has interesting modifiers to reflect this tragic tale. The first, a chance to reload bolts on kill. represents the crossbow's ability to capture the souls of slain enemies and use them as ammunition. Secondly, the crossbow has infinite ammo, as long as your soul is resilient enough by feeding life into the crossbow.
Yeah, drains our
Be
life.
careful not to feed it all, as you too might get trapped in it forever. Thirdly, and what makes this crossbow truly shine, is its granted skill. Compose Requiem. Harness the power of the
Boss killer.
divine souls within to unleash the fury of Kalisa and Adamantia themselves by weaponizing their torment and laying waste to all enemies in sight. You'll notice as using the skill you get to hear the composition of Adamantia and the voice of Kalisa.
Yeah, take a look at this. There is the song.
You'll be able to find the last lament as an in-game unique item Kinley. The cross
Okay, guys, let's take a look at this. Can we? Okay, lots of damage added. The DPS would be how much now? 630, 300 something. Guys, this doesn't feel again like a chase unique. So I'm just taking a look at the DPS here, guys, and the DPS is, unless I'm miscalculating, in the 600 neighborhood. 600 is very, very low for a crossbow, right? I mean, I was using a 1300 DPS crossbow in my lightning crossbow that I. That's very high, but still, guys, you can get, above 800, 850s or so for one divine only, right? I mean, does that make that much of a difference? So what it does is, guys, increase physical damage, increase attack speed. Yeah, I mean, as I said, the DPS is around the 600 neighborhood, right? Am I doing it correct? Yeah, I mean, it's in the 600 neighborhood. It has lifesteal. That's not that important, right? 19% to chance to load the bolt into... I mean, guys, the reload is not that bad a thing when you are using a skill that uses like 7 or 8 bolts, right? I mean, I played the explosive shot or something like that. I think that was using a single bolt, right? So you had to reload every single time. That was pain, right? But then I was playing the galvanic shots, and that was using like 7 bolts or so per skill, which was, not that uncomfortable. So because, you shoot 7 times and you reload in, half a second, that's not that bad. I mean, and take a look at this. Sacrifice 300 life instead of consuming the last bolt when firing. So guys, that means, and this is not optional. So when you are out of bolts, it will, just drain your life. So, guys, unless I'm misunderstanding, right? I could be misunderstanding because, as I said, I don't have the evaluation skill to look at an item and call it chase or call it good or bad or whatever it is, right? But I mean, this does look very bad to me, instead of being chased, right? This is, so it has mediocre DPS, right? It drains my life, so low damage, and drains my life, but grants me a decent skill, right? The Compose Requiem is pretty good, right? Converts your damage into cold, 60% of it, I think. Yeah, I mean, I am very unconvinced. Okay, next up we have a staff. I mean, guys, these are... I mean, it feels very, very bad. So the screenshot could be a little bit small. Let me just read out for you, right? This grants you 2 level 19 skills at level 84. I mean, if it requires with the level requirement at 78, it will grant you level 18 skills. Heart of Ice and Ice Storm, plus 4 cold spell skills, 13% reduced cast speed, 11% increased intelligence, which is nice, 4% is spell damage per intelligence, that's also nice, I'm guessing. So if I have like 500 intelligence, it's gonna give me 55 intelligence, and that's gonna give me 220 spell damage. Inflict cold exposure on hit, lowering total cold resistance by 28%. I mean, these are all very nice, but I think this doesn't even come close to a wand and staff combination. First of all, guys, the skills, right? That's a huge problem. So it's a staff, right? That's the biggest problem. So when I use a wand and focus combination, I can get +7 skills, right? And we are also getting a rune that gives +1, so I can get +8 skills, +8 cold skills, right? +5 cold skills on the wand, +2 all skills on the focus, right? And also put the socket in and +1 in there. That's +8, right? With this staff, I can put 2 sockets in there, and I can put 2 of those runes in. I'm getting +6. Huge difference. This doesn't make up for it, right? And also reduce cast speed. Guys, I don't understand these items. Yeah. So thing is, guys, there will be, of course, bad uniques, right? I'm not criticizing them for designing bad uniques. Not every unique can be good, right? The thing that I can't comprehend is why showcase these? I mean, this looks like a very bad item to me, right? Because, guys, with when you are a spellcaster, the most important scaling, which is similar to your weapons damage as a non-caster character, is your skills level, right? So you want your skills level at the maximum possible, because everything else, skill damage, cold damage, that sort of stuff is based off on that, and you do not want to sacrifice skill levels if you can help it, right? And this is a lot of, and also the reduced cast speed is also another pain. It gives you a lot of spell damage, but thing is, guys, a wand and focus combination also can give you a lot of spell damage, right? So you can, this gives you all cold skills, which means you are playing cold, so you can have cold damage and spell damage on your wand, and you can also have them on your focus as well. And reduced cast speed is pain, so this I think feels very short compared to a wand. So why not make this like +6 or +7 cold spell skills, so we are actually not losing out on the thing. Yeah, it's a bit weird. Maybe the granted skills are very good, but I don't think this can come close to a thingy. Okay, let's take a look at the granted skills. Heart of Ice. It grants Heart of Ice and Ice Storm. So Heart of Ice chills enemies in your presence as though dealing cold damage. So guys, it doesn't deal the damage, but it chills as if it was dealing the damage. And problem is, with casters, presence is a problem, right? After presence's nerf in patch 0.2 from 6 meters down to 4 meters, it's a problem, right? I mean, not everyone can go into your presence. I mean, with quality, you can get 20% magnitude, I suppose, magnitude of chill. I mean, it's not bad, but it's not also that big a deal. Ice Storm deals damage 469. I have to see, of course, to compare this with others. 11% crit chance. Ice Storm is barrageable, and there is a storm as well. I mean, maybe it's okay, but as I said, it will fall very short to wand and focus combination. And finally, we do have an interesting quiver. Each arrow fired is a crescendo, splinter, reversing, diamond, covetous, or blunt arrow. Yeah. So it doing literally nothing other than this is a bit of a problem, right? It has the implicit, it has this ability, and does nothing. So we are giving up +2 projectiles, we are giving like 50% bow skills, we are giving up 60% attack speed, we are giving up 33 dexterity for this. Yeah, I mean, it's a bit weird. Let's take a look at the arrows. Crescendo arrows, it might be a little bit hard to read. I'm barely reading it, so I will read it out for you guys. Crescendo arrows chain 6 additional times and deal 60% increased damage for each time they have changed. Whoa, that's actually pretty mighty. But so there is this 1 in 6 chance to get these, right? So 1 in 6 chance, unless they are weighted, and I see no reason that they are weighted, but that's 16.6% repeating chance for a crescendo splinter reversing diamond covered. So blunt arrow, splintering arrows split towards 6 targets, reversing arrows pierce all targets and return to you. Diamond arrows, all hits with diamond arrows are critical hits with 60% increased crit damage bonus. Covetous arrows, enemies killed with covetous arrows drop items with 600% increased rarity. Interesting. Blunt arrows have 600% increased stun build-up. Cute item, guys. I like the design. They are very creative with uniques. I like this, but it doing nothing else, right? So, guys, I have played Deadeye. I have played the bow Deadeye in Season 0. And, quivers can give you a lot, right? And also because it does nothing, like a normal quiver, any quiver bonus that you have, for example, you have 80% or 100% bonus from a kit quiver, will do nothing and you will not be using them. It's weird. Oh, it's just a render. There's nothing here. Cute, but I feel like these items, at least the ones that are being showcased, should be a little bit better to compare with the other stuff. I wonder if this will be useful, guys. The arrows are pretty strong, right? But what I would have liked would be, the arrows maybe being a little bit weaker, but the quiver doing something like normal quivers, right? There would be a +2 projectile skills. There would be some bow damage. There would be some attack speed, some flat damage, because the loss is very, very real, right? We are losing tons and tons of stuff, right, for this ability. And of course, guys, I would expect this ability to be, a little bit weaker, right? Maybe the arrows being a little bit weaker, or maybe it doesn't work all the time, but a proc chance like 15% or something. At this point, it's just too grand, right? You have to sacrifice all the stats I mentioned in favor of this. Nothing else. Does it add up? Needs playtesting, of course, right? We'll see about that. So, guys, and thing is, this was very surprising to me. They are saying that they will be deploying 021 tomorrow, right? Would be lovely if they can. Yeah, very nice. Because of, guys, they have somewhat killed the game. People are not playing, and trades have been very stagnant. And yeah, I have been drifting towards Monster Train mostly. And hopefully it's gonna be good. And I will see you on stream and in the next video. Bye bye.